Planet Vero Studio is powered by the Nolan Group of Remax Associated Realty. MyNextHomeFinder.com. Cindy Grossman. New York City born and raised, luxury retail management was her game. Saks Fifth Avenue and Nordstrom were her jewelry playgrounds. Had enough at 38, fled to Miami, where Neiman Marcus Bal Harbour found her. Recruited to Mont Blanc, where her regional position challenged her. Met her husband 4 years ago, and Brevard County she did go. COVID hit, she needed a new career fit. Age-defying beauty with Mary Kay, she did say. And now, here's Cindy Grossman.
Hello, hello, and welcome to Mesmerize the Mirror at Any Age. Mitch, thanks so much for coming back again.
Hello, hello. Nice to be back with you. And today, well, I don't want to give it away.
It's a momentous day. It really is. And I'm so happy. Elia Twigg is back with us.
Again, this is the second time. This is unusual. Usually they get scared away after the first time.
No.
She's brave.
She's the owner of Beacor, a woman-owned company that specializes in tailoring personal solutions to help meet clients' health and fitness goals by use of DNA testing. And my clients know that I did go through that whole DNA testing. She is also a licensed engineer with both a bachelor's and master's degrees in civil engineering from the University of Florida. She works part-time for a full-service design and construction firm. She serves in various leadership roles for several professional organizations and has presented at many industry conferences. Elia has published several articles and co-authored the Executive Soft Skills Pocket Guide. She is married and has two beautiful children, Leanna, 11, and Porter, 13. Thank you so much for coming back.
Thank you.
I am excited, and we've all been playing this out, you know, like it's like the Maury Povich show. You are the father. So now we're going to learn. Cindy, you do have this gene. You do have that gene. So
yeah. We'll keep it light because it's a short amount of time, but it definitely, I loved going through your results.
We have plenty of time. Let's go into a lot of detail.
I do have, actually, I wanted to give her, I have a gift for you.
Oh, thank you.
So I wanted you to open it while we're here.
Okay, perfect.
While Cindy's opening her gift, how did they take the DNA? How did Cindy give the DNA?
Well, this was a very interesting story. We were in a networking event meeting, and we ended up going into the ladies' room, and she did. It's basically just a little swab, a saliva swab, and you go on the side of your mouth a couple times, and then you just put it back in the tube, and then it gets shipped out overseas to England, actually, so the United Kingdom, and then they just do the testing there, and then we get the results, and I've got the results earlier, and we decided to do this on live on the show.
Absolutely.
So Cindy has not seen these results at all. But what she was holding there was the infographic. You want to see that? That's just, it's kind of in a nutshell, all the results that take place from this DNA test. So we're going to go through her results.
Excellent.
I know her parents, so if there's anything that relates to one more than the other, I'll tell you which one we're going to give the credit or the blame to.
All right.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
All right. Well, one of the first things we did, I sent a questionnaire to Cindy, and Cindy did fill out the questionnaire. So I looked through the results of the questionnaire and her responses, and just to get an idea, really, of what was important to her, what were her main goals, what kind of nutrition she was already having, so like the last few meals she had for breakfast or lunch or dinner, and then what kind of stress she has, and then also what kind of sleep, if she's a good sleeper or deeper sleeper. So based on that, I wanted to go through the results and tailor it to what her goals were. So one of the things she said, most important thing was losing weight and nutrition, and wanted the best exercise for her DNA. So we will definitely go through that. She works out 5 to 7 days a week, which is great. So again, we will go through what the best types of workouts would be for her DNA. She does walk or run or does weight training, so it looks like a mixture. For food, rarely eats breakfast, lunch. There was good healthy salads. There was turkey sandwiches. Dinner was nice shrimp and chicken, fish, pasta, rice. So good variety there, and the snacks with the fruits and animal crackers, which when I saw that, I was like, oh, now I want an animal cracker.
They still have those?
Yeah.
And then the stress seemed like maybe you were a little bit more, or no, you had the stress, what's that response?
Right.
And the family, most of your stress comes from either family or it's like self-induced. So, which I think that probably happens a lot. We overcommit. That seems like a female thing. We overcommit. And then it says you sleep like a rock. So all of these things coming back to our results. So for the fitness, your response came back with the high response for strength and for power and a lower response for the endurance. So what that means, if you look at a breakdown for like the week, 40% of your training should be strength training, 40% should be the power training, and about 20% should be endurance. So when I'm looking at, you do the weight training, that's really great. So some of the things that I would recommend, I don't know, what kind of weight training do you do? Is it just at the gym? Do you have a trainer?
It's actually in the house. It's more functional training.
Okay.
Burpees, different things like that.
Okay.
But it's, weights, definitely weights.
Okay.
Yes.
And that's good. That's a really good thing, because what I was going to recommend is something more of like a CrossFit type of workout. So you're getting the strength training, but the power training would be like that. Intervals or high intensity, explosive type movements. So like the burpees is good, wall balls or something like that, where you're having that high intensity, but you're also having that explosive movement. So acceleration. So if you're going for a run, I know that you're training for your half iron.
Right.
It's a half marathon. Yeah. With the half marathon, just training for that, maybe throw in some sprints while you're doing your training, because that would give you a good response just based on your DNA. Let's see, the aerobic trainability, that one I think I touched on a little bit. That's your VO2 max. And it's really that rate of oxygen consumption. So again, most people don't really care about that number, other than us data nerds that cycle, and that's kind of, but when you're biking, that's like kind of a number that comes up, but that's really just that aerobic trainability. So your recovery is considered low, which that's mine too. And it's not really, it's not a bad thing or a good thing. It's just knowing that. So if you are having some harder type of workouts, you definitely want to give yourself more time to recover. So maybe you're going to do that strength training and power, and that's something you could combine. So you could combine your strength training and your power training like in one session. And then maybe that's a harder session. So maybe the next day might be that light jog or walk or something like that. So that, just kind of balances out. But that's something that I had too, that low recovery. More cool down sessions, making sure that you properly warm up and you properly cool down.
Right.
That's super important as well. And that helps with injuries as well. Although your injury risks were low, were normal. Achilles injury was very low. So you don't seem like you're going to have any issues there. ACL was medium, and the lower back was low. So I don't know if you've ever had any knee issues or anything, but
I just went for an MRI yesterday on my knee.
Oh no.
And I've had back surgery, so interesting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, the things that can help for injury prevention would be definitely the proper warm up, proper cool down, but stability type of workouts. So really good, like what you talked about with the functionality type workouts.
Right.
I mean, it could be the lunges, doing single leg type workouts. So you're concentrating on that stability. Doing a lot of core training, can help with that stability as well. But But definitely, balancing out, like for knee, you definitely want to balance out. So if you're doing a lot of quad strength type training, you need to balance that with your glutes and your hamstrings. Okay. So making sure that you're having that balance. And those single leg type workouts are really good, like the lunges, even deadlifts. I don't know if you ever do deadlifts. Sure. Okay. Single leg deadlifts. Okay. Have you ever tried that?
Yes, yeah.
So things like that would really help getting that balance. Okay. So doing squats and that kind of thing. Muscle mass predisposition was increased, which that definitely ties into your strength training and power training that you could do. It's easier for you to build that muscle mass. Okay. So just in talking about this, does that seem like accurate for you?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Sure.
And one thing I would recommend too with the strength training is lift heavy. I don't know, do you lift heavy or do you just do a lot of reps maybe?
Because of the back, I tend to be a little cautious with heavy, but I will do, bicep and we tend to do, I would say I tend to do, a lot. We do like 3 sets of 20 and things like that.
So that's more, even though that's strength training, or that resistance training, it's probably more considered endurance because you're doing a lot more reps. So I would suggest increasing your weight and lowering your reps so that you could lower your reps. Because lifting that heavier weight, I think for your DNA would be a benefit for you. Okay. And I think you might see results from that too, especially with your muscle mass predisposition. Since it's easier for you to build that muscle, having that strength training, and maybe even considering getting like a trainer to give you ideas on different types of workouts to do, so.
For sure.
Okay, so we can go on to diet now. I think the fitness and the diet.
Maybe before we go on to diet, we should take a break and then we'll come back.
No,
diet, nutrients, micronutrients.
Why hire Cantwell & Goldman? At Cantwell & Goldman, PA, we take pride in what we do. That pride translates into better client service and better client results. At Cantwell & Goldman, PA, we provide high-quality legal solutions for individuals and businesses in Indian River and Brevard counties and throughout the state of Florida. Our experienced attorneys can help you with a range of legal issues, from defending a criminal charge, assistance with a commercial or residential closing, business transaction, or estate planning and probate matters. We are a full-service law firm specializing in estate planning, including trust and estates, as well as commercial and residential real estate and corporate matters throughout the state of Florida. Cantwell & Goldman, PA.
New Vision Eye Center provides world-class eye care on the Treasure Coast. To tell you more, here's Dr. Robert Reinauer.
Many patients are under the impression that floaters in your eyes are a condition that you have to just accept. Floaters can spontaneously appear as part of the natural aging process, and they disrupt your clear vision. Some have had a laser treatment that does not remove the floaters. At New Vision Eye Center, we provide the latest techniques in the permanent removal of floaters in your eyes.
Dr. Robert Reinauer with New Vision Eye Center exclusively performs this proven procedure to remove annoying floaters in the eyes, providing world-class care for macular degeneration, diabetic retinopathy, and retinal surgery. For an appointment, call 772-257-8700 or visit newvisioneyecenter.com. Make the move to retinal specialist Dr. Robert Reinauer at New Vision Eye Center in Vero Beach.
This is iHeartMedia's Treasure Coast Connection.
The Treasure Coast Connection is brought to you by New Vision Eye Center.
Hello, this is Tony Zorbal. I'm the Executive Director of The Source. Looking for made-to-order food close to home or work? Look for our new food truck on the block, the Dignity Food Truck. Operated fully by The Source. The truck moves to different spots Monday through Friday. In the mood for wings, sandwiches, quesadillas, or a salad? The Dignity Food Truck has that and more. Check out our location, menu, order and pay from a simple Google app on your phone. I am The Source. We're open from 11 a.m. till the food runs out. Enjoy great food and help the homeless get back on their feet. Operated fully by The Source. Visit IamTheSource.org for more info.
Call New Vision Eye Center for a consultation or second opinion. Your eyesight deserves world-class eye care. Visit newvisioneyecenter.com or call 772-257-8700.
Shop for a cause. Enjoy indoor and outdoor booths with vendors, artists, food trucks, even great music. Every dollar supports the Lift Up Young Lives nonprofit. Shop for a cause Saturday, October 30th from 9 to 2 at 50 West Strawbridge Avenue in Melbourne.
And we're back. Mesmerize the mirror at any age with Elia Twigg talking about yours truly's DNA. So far, not too bad. We're going to go on to some nutrition, right?
Yeah, we'll do diet and then
let's hear about the diet.
Well, one thing I just want to stress too, that the DNA test is basically how your makeup, but environmental factors can play a major role. So especially when we get into the micronutrients, getting blood work will tell you where you are at the moment. The DNA, it just kind of gives you what you might be predisposed to or risk factors. So going on to the diet here, the optimal diet for you is a balanced carbs and fats. So really what that means is your sensitivities to the carbs and the fats were high, but that's really more for like the saturated fats and also like the processed, the refined carbs. So if you have a diet where you have a lot of those refined carbs or a lot of saturated fats, your sensitivity would be a lot higher for that. So really the best type of approach is doing that balanced diet and having, if you're looking at your plate, you have half the plate with vegetables and a quarter of it with your protein. So maybe your fish, your chicken, or whatever you're eating. And then a quarter of the plate with like a starchy type of vegetable. So maybe potato or starch, maybe it's the rice or maybe it's a potato or something along that line. So that's really like the best probably approach, for your type of diet. Really for anyone, that's really a good approach. And mixing in those really good fats like the fruits and the with the carbs, it's the unrefined carbs. So that would be like the whole foods going with your fruits, seeds, nuts, the whole grains, legumes, those types of things are really, good. That's good carbs, good unrefined carbs. And then for the fats, the cheese, the butter, processed meats, those are all that saturated fat. So trying to limit those a little bit and then going more to the olive oils or the healthy fats like the avocado, olive oils, the nuts and the seeds, those all have those healthy fats. Let's see, the toxin generation speed. That one's kind of interesting. It's just really talking more about that biological process that takes place with your liver and clears those harmful chemicals. So, you think about those, you see all those fad diets, the detoxes, our bodies are designed to detox. So we don't need to have a detox diet to detox anything. If your liver and your kidneys are functioning and you don't have to go see a doctor, then your body is detoxing the way it should. So it really comes back to that diet of what you're actually processing or what you're eating. So with that toxin generation, it really comes back to, limiting maybe the smoked or charred meats. So if you're going to be cooking and grilling, maybe marinated in some sort of a liquid type base, cut the meats so that they're just a little bit smaller, maybe so they don't cook so long. Those are some ways to just kind of get rid of that. And the other practical advice would be going into the cruciferous vegetables, and that kind of like offset that. So that would be more of like that broccoli, cabbage, kale, cauliflower. Those are those cruciferous vegetables that are really good to pair with those meats, to kind of offset that for you.
Great.
Let's see. The alcohol response. I don't know if you drink wine or beer, but
not a big drinker.
You are normal there. Let's see. The bitter taste perception. This one I think is a kind of a funny thing that's part of your DNA, your bitter taste perception, and you are considered a non-taster. So your bitter flavors are less intense for you, where for me, I get more of a sensitivity to it. So things that are like sour and that bitter, like I really can't have those things. But then my son can eat those things and it's no big deal for him. So I don't know if that's ever something you've noticed, that you can handle eating some things that are bitter that maybe
tends to be okay, right?
Aren't as big a deal for you. You're considered lactose intolerant. I don't know if you ever have any issues with milks or creams or anything like that.
I guess at times. Yeah,
Okay.
It depends how much.
Yeah, and
that.
it doesn't mean that you can't have it.
Right.
It just means that you shouldn't have like a glass of milk,
Right.
3 times a day.
No.
That might upset your stomach a little bit. But
That's for sure.
And then the celiac predisposition is low. So
that's good. Very good.
So going to the nutrients, there's lots of nutrients, just so that everyone can understand what the nutrients, there's lots of the micronutrients that are part of this report. You've got vitamin A, vitamin B2, B6, B12, B9, vitamin C, vitamin D, vitamin E, omega-3, antioxidants, iron, calcium, and selenium. So of all of those, you were normal except for 3 of them, which was the vitamin D, the antioxidants, and the selenium, which it just said that you needed, probably need higher needs for that. The vitamin D is something that we can get from just being out in the sun. Right. So again, going back to those environmental factors, that could really play a huge role with your vitamin D, or any of these things. So if you are normally eating a lot of fruits and vegetables and the nuts and the seeds and whole grains, you're probably getting a lot of these already. Okay. And since you have the normal needs for most of them, it's having just that normal diet would be fine. The vitamin D, you might want to check that, get a blood test on that just to see. Because vitamin D levels actually, there was even a doctor that I listened to, is a podcast that I listened to, and this guy was a very reputable doctor, had huge credentials, and vitamin D was one of the highest factors for getting COVID. And it wasn't even just COVID, it was just being sick. So if you don't have the proper vitamin D, you are probably risking, getting sick more often, right, or getting a cold, even just catching a cold. Okay. So that vitamin D is super important. Mm-hmm. The antioxidants and the selenium, you can get that from foods. And the foods there would be like nuts and kale, spinach, that type of stuff. So you can get that from there.
Sounds good. Yeah, I'm looking at my chart and I do see carb sensitivity high, fat sensitivity high. So it looks like I do have that fat gene.
Well, not the obesity,
Mom and Dad. No,
not the obesity though, because you were normal there. So that was another thing that was tested. That was average.
Okay. That sounds good. So now, before we run out of time, please let everyone know how this could be done, and how, I have to tell you, this is so helpful because I'm going to put different factors from what I've learned into my life.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
I think it will.
And that's really,
it'll help.
it's just an information. It's just another tool. Gives you information about things that you can do or change. And it's practical information. We would go over the results as they come. And to reach me, you could go to my website, www.biacorefit. It's BIACORE fit.com, or you can go to my Instagram at biacorefit on Instagram, and you can find me at both places.
Terrific. And Elia will be speaking at the ABWA.
I will be
meeting this month.
Yes.
I think it's the 28th, right?
I think so.
The 28th at 6 p.m. and it's at the Ogali Yacht Club, and it's the Oceanside chapter. So check it out. And if you need any information on that, please let me know. I'm happy to offer it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
This was great. It was fun. I learned so much. Thank you. Thank you so much. Mitch, you're next.
Uh-oh.
You're next. Get ready.
I won't be as interesting as you.
Oh, I think you're going to be even more interesting.
I don't know. Yeah. We'll see.
I think so.
Show us the shirt. We have a second or two.
Well,
Thank you so much. Maybe we do.
I think I showed the shirt.
Well, it's okay. It's all good. There we go.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.